Donald Trump versus Joe Biden. We're just 8 days into the new year and things have kicked off, which is to be expected, but there's so much news. It's easy to miss stuff. Some of the things are just absolutely wild, but really there's no reason to expect anything less for the rest of the year. But luckily, I got you. And we'll start with the continued efforts we're seeing to get Trump off the ballot. The idea being that he led an insurrection, so he's not qualified to be on the ballot. And here, for all you visual learners, Axios actually provided a handy-dandy map of the current status of the state's effort. We're seeing no challenges in 17 states, challenges dismissed in 13, decision or appeals pending in 19, and Trump, of course, disqualified so far in Maine and Colorado. But the Supreme Court, as of last Friday, officially taking up Trump's appeal regarding Colorado. Also on the note of January 6th, we actually got more footage of the peaceful protesters. You know, those kind folks who were taking a non-violent, good-intentioned tour of the Capitol.
We gotta hang a bunch of crooked congressmen. We'll do that.
You guys could get the same paycheck when the government gets replaced with real governors.
You also had a lot of people fighting about Ashley Babbitt. But among other things, people sharing drastically different videos of her. Some where it appears like she's marching and she's calmly talking to the camera. Others where she's hysterically yelling at the camera while driving.
Every single one of you politicians in California, Gavin Newsom, Jerry Brown, Maxine Waters, Duncan Hunter, what the hell are you doing?
And that, of course, in addition to the footage showing numerous angles and moments leading up to Ashley Babbitt getting shot. And with that, we also learned that Ashley Babbitt's family is suing, filing a $30 million lawsuit, arguing Ashley posed no threat to the safety of anyone. Though that, as many agree, that the footage actually shows that it was a completely justified shooting. And others noting that a Capitol Police investigation found that Capitol Police Lieutenant Michael Byrd, he followed department policy and violated no laws. But also, bigger picture regarding the other people there, specifically the 1,265 people who have been charged so far and the roughly 750 who have been sentenced for their criminal involvement on January 6th. We've been getting to see a range of reactions. You've had the likes of Christian pastor Bill Cook speaking to the FBI agents arresting January 6th insurrectionists.
And so I want to say to my friends in the FBI, keep doing it, because death is about to execute a no-knock warrant on you. He's going to invade your domicile, this body, and take you out of it. And when he does, you're going to stand before God. It's not going to be pleasant.
Meanwhile, you've got Trump calling them mistreated hostages, which also, based off of a recent Stefanik interview, makes me feel like this is how they're going to be trying to frame the situation. Trump also calling for their release and vowing to pardon them if he's elected. And while many of you watching probably find that absolutely crazy, that it is absolutely revisionist history to call these people who attacked the Capitol hostages, or because they're being held accountable. That has very much become the major and popular Republican opinion, with in fact not only nearly 70% of Republicans believing Biden's 2020 election win was not legitimate, but 2/3 supporting pardons for people who forced their way into the Capitol. But possibly the most concerning polling was across party lines, with not only 70% believing that U.S. democracy is under threat, but about half expecting violence over future presidential elections. And while I'm definitely among those because I have eyes and ears, depending on the person, they have these beliefs for very different reasons. And in fact, political violence has become such a topic since January 6th. Joe Biden actually spoke on it over the weekend while Trump and Biden were taking swings at each other. And with Trump, we saw him try to frame Biden's speech as him just stuttering and struggling through it.
That's why Crooked Joe is staging his pathetic fear-mongering campaign event in Pennsylvania today. Did you see him? He was stuttering through the whole thing. He's a threat to democracy.
And him doing that between other random dumb shit he was saying. He randomly started talking about magnets.
They had an almost $1 billion cost overrun on the magnetic elevators. Think of it, magnets. Now, all I know about magnets is this. Give me a glass of water. Let me drop it on the magnets. That's the end of the magnets. Why didn't they use John Deere? Why didn't they bring in the John Deere people? Do you like John Deere? I like John Deere.
Well, that clip eventually got community noted. Please, for the love of God, know that that is not how magnets work. But then, with Biden's speech, there were numerous big things that he hit on. With at one point, Biden seeming to stop himself from calling Trump a sick fuck.
Political violence is never, ever acceptable in the United States political system. Never, never, never. It has no place in a democracy. None. You can't be pro-insurrectionist and pro-American. Trump and his MAGA supporters not only embrace political violence, but they laugh about it. At his rally, he jokes about an intruder, whipped up by the big Trump lie, taking a hammer to Paul Pelosi's skull and echoing the very same words used on January 6th. Where's Nancy? And he thinks that's funny. He laughed about it. What a sick...
With Biden pointing out that Donald Trump's rhetoric has really started sounding a little familiar.
He talks about the blood of America as being poisoned, echoing the same exact language used in Nazi Germany. He proudly posts on social media the words that best describe his 2024 campaign, quote, revenge, quote, power, and quote, dictatorship. There's no confusion about who Trump is.
And Biden also talking about how Republican politicians and conservative media have just flip-flopped on January 6th.
When the attack on January 6th happened, there was no doubt about the truth. At the time, even Republican members of Congress and Fox News commentators publicly and privately condemned the attack. As one Republican senator said, Trump's behavior was embarrassing and humiliating for the country. But now that same senator and those same people have changed their tune. As time has gone on, politics, fear, money, all have intervened. And now these MAGA voices who know the truth about Trump on January 6th have abandoned the truth and abandoned the democracy. They made their choice. Now the rest of us, Democrats, independents, mainstream Republicans, we have to make our choice. I know mine, and I believe I know America's. We'll defend the truth, not give in to the big lie. We'll embrace the Constitution and the Declaration, not abandon it. We'll honor the sacred cause of democracy, not walk away from it. Today, I make this sacred pledge to you: the defense, protection, and preservation of American democracy will remain, as it has been, the central cause of my presidency.
And with all that said, you're generally up to date. Granted, this whole situation is going to be the dumpster fire that does not stop giving and won't stop giving, even though you want to get off the ride. But in a world with so much noise and misinformation, I got you covered. And I'll be with you this year through the chaos, because it's the most important one since the last one and the one before that. Whew.